Hi folks, Dr. Bob McCauley. I'm a naturopathic doctor. I'm a certified nutritional consultant, a certified master herbalist, and a naturopathic doctor. It took me about 8 years to do all that studying, but most what I know about health is through experience. And I'm a big promoter of certain things. One of them is ionized water. Ionized water, alkaline ionized water. That's my biggest seller. I've written 8 books on health, 1 book of short stories. Listen, if you like literary fiction, that's the book you want. Sketches from a young man's life. If you want really good literature, read my book. Let me know what you think. If you read any of my books, please review them. But that's my biggest seller, The Miraculous Properties of Ionized Water, the definitive guide to the world's healthiest substance. There's nothing better for the body than water, and there's no better water than alkaline ionized water. That's for sure. So I've been doing this 30 years now. And I started out in the bottled water business, not really knowing much about any of this stuff, almost nothing about it. But when I found the 2 greatest foods in the world, spirulina and chlorella, okay, that's my latest book. Chlorella and spirulina, kings of all superfoods. Okay, that is, I wrote a whole book, 140 pages on 2 foods. Okay, somebody says, how could you, what's there to say about 2 foods? You'd be surprised. Greatest food. We're going to talk about that. And I got a couple of pouches, how I sell them. Here's the chlorella. Here's the 45-45-10. What is that? I'll explain what that is. And here's the 50-50, half spirulina, half chlorella. So I am kind of the reigning king of spirulina and chlorella because nobody promotes it more than I do. So I've written all these books, again, 8 books. Confessions of a Bodybuilder, that was one of them. The Cure in the Mirror, that was my book on cancer. Cure in the Mirror, Nature's Protocol for Surviving Cancer. Okay, Cure in the Mirror. The body can cure itself of any disease. You need to stop putting the wrong things into your body and start putting the right things into your body. That's all. It's not easy, but it's pretty simple to understand. Stop eating garbage. Stop eating the things that you just like and nothing else. So stop that, and you'll start putting the right things into your body, which, like Paul Neeson, good example of a raw foodist. He's always lived on a raw food diet. Moselle, same thing. When you live on a diet of raw fruits and vegetables, you'll be healthy. If you eat a lot of cooked foods, you're going to get old and you're going to get sick and you're going to die. We're all going to die, but I'm not going to die of a disease because I don't put the wrong things into my body. So we're going to mainly focus here on spirulina and chlorella today. I'm the king of doing that. This is where I get my protein. There's 60% protein. I'm a vegan. I've been a vegetarian for 44 years this year in October. And but becoming a vegetarian, not eating meat, that's a step toward health. But when you become a raw foodist, that's like 10 giant leaps. It's really an amazing lifestyle. I'm clear-headed. I feel great. I do take a lot of supplements. And I'm going to talk to you today about 4 different supplements because I want to address blood clots today. So I do want to talk about the spirulina and chlorella. It's what I'm most well known for. And what I do best is spirulina and chlorella, ionized water. I have a 7-component health protocol. The seven components of great health. Okay, and what are those? Alkaline ionized water, spirulina and chlorella, raw fruits and vegetables, probiotics and prebiotics, the friendly bacteria. Okay, prebiotics, fermented foods, liquid angstrom minerals. Here's one of my minerals right here. Okay, you got to stay mineralized. I have a full spectrum mineral. I have individual minerals. But I take them in a liquid form, hold them under your tongue, goes right into your body through your sublingual duct, hits the bloodstream, goes throughout the body. Most effective way to take your minerals. Daily vigorous exercise. That's something most of these guys don't do that. I work out 5 days a week. I have an elliptical. I've gone 4 miles in 20 minutes on that elliptical on level 8. It's a professional. And everybody's say, you're bragging. I'm just telling you what I can do at 66 years old. This is what I can do. I mean, I really get in there. I work out with weights. I do crunches. I do all this stuff. Never more than 30 minutes. That's it. I'm done. because you don't want to go beyond that. That's not really, that's counterproductive. Let's put it that way. Doesn't increase your longevity, because to me it's all about health. And then number 7, positive mental attitude. So number 2, spirulina and chlorella. What are these? These are the 2 greatest superfoods on the planet. That's why I wrote my book on spirulina and chlorella. Kings of all superfoods, okay? Nothing comes close. People talk about superfoods of all kinds, and there's some great ones. There's goji berries, and there's nuts and seeds, and there's pumpkin seeds, and there's maca, and there's just tons of superfoods, and they're all great. There's coconut oil, but the 2 greatest foods on the planet, spirulina and chlorella. Now, what are they? Chlorella is a green algae. Okay, it's a true algae. First food on the planet. These are the only 2 foods you can live on exclusively and get all your basic nutrients. And by the way, my website, watershed.net, okay, I have a store up in Lansing, Michigan. It's called the Watershed Wellness Center. You can come in and fill up ionized water by the gallon. I do consultations sometimes with people. I prefer you just read my books and look at my videos. I've got hundreds and hundreds of videos on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Dr. Bob McCauley or Watershed 11. And I'm also Bob McCauley, DrBobMcCauley.com, DrBobMcCauley.com, Watershed.net. And then I have a book website, and that one is BobMcCauleyBooks.com, BobMcCauleyBooks.com. That's my book website. So really hard to write a book, but when you write a book like this, you got to stand behind every single word you say, and that's what I like about it. And they live on. There's something concrete about a book. I know it's just paper, but there's something that's really there, because you can't really change it. You can come out with another edition and say, well, maybe I was wrong about these things, but when you declare these are the 2 greatest superfoods in the world, nothing comes close. And these are the only 2 foods you could live on exclusively and get all your basic nutrients, well, you better be able to stand behind that. So how can you make those claims? How can you do that? So chlorella, a green algae, and a plant. Spirulina is a cyanobacteria. Some people call it blue-green algae. It's not an algae. It's a cyanobacteria, blue bacteria. And these are cultivated in controlled environments. So these are not just taken out of a lake or a pond or anything like that. We grow these specifically under specific conditions. We put certain ingredients in them. We call them inputs. Very, very, very difficult to actually grow chlorella. Very easy to grow spirulina. There's other algae out there that people try to cultivate, but they're so difficult to cultivate, and they're really not worth the time and effort, because you've got everything you need here with spirulina and chlorella. You've got them. You already got everything. I could get. I went on for 140 pages in a book. I mean, it took me 9 months to write that book, so I had to really concentrate on that. But I've been doing this for so long. I knew I wanted to say. One time, I actually fasted on these books. These 2. On these books, I fasted on these 2 foods, spirulina and chlorella, for 10 days. I never felt so invigorated and so healthy and so great in my entire life. And then my diet is raw fruits and vegetables. That's it. A vegetarian 44 years, began in India, and now I'm a vegan 25 years. So I don't eat meat, fish, eggs, or dairy. Those are just secondary food sources. People eat them because you like the taste. You're used to it. I grew up on a meat and potatoes diet. I grew up in the 60s. I grew up on a meat and potatoes diet. That's all. So, but then I decided over the time, that's not really healthy for me. And then I finally really decided that, wow, this raw foods is where it's at. Because I'll tell you something. Raw fruits and vegetables have enzymes. They are naturally, they're organic. And I always tell people all the time, God grew an apple, okay, and we made a frying pan, okay, and you cannot improve on God's creation. So that's it. You can make it taste better. An apple pie is much more tastier than an apple. I'd rather have an apple pie, But I don't eat apple pie because that's not healthy. I eat the apple. The apple's delicious, but the apple pie is even better. Okay? So, but you don't want to cook it. Cooking is our downfall as in humanity. It's the downfall of everything. You know, I tell people all the time, I say, you know, you'll never find, I get challenged on this too, it's just amazing to me. You'll never find any evidence of chronic disease in the wild. Right? Nobody has ever shot a deer. I'm in Michigan. I got all sorts of friends that are hunters. I don't hunt. But they hunt, and nobody has ever shot a deer and opened it up and brought it back and found it's full of cancer. This thing's full of arthritis, high blood pressure, diabetes. It's all rotted meat. Nobody. Now, you will find infectious disease in the wild. A while ago, I'm going to say, it must have been 5-6 years, they had this virus, I think it was I forget the name of it, but it was in deer, and it was killing them. That's what'll happen. They were dropping dead all over the place. This virus was killing them. That infectious disease is throughout the plant world. It's in the trees. It's in humans, and it's in animals and mammals. Okay, infectious disease, but chronic disease, arthritis, cancer, fibromyalgia, does not exist in any species on Earth other than humans, us, and the animals that we domesticate, our pets. We put them on a cooked food, processed food, puppy chow diet, blah, blah, blah. It's just really, really, just really, really a bad thing to do. So we are the only species that do this, and therefore we're the only species that ends up with these kind of problems, other than the animals we domesticate. And that doesn't matter if it's a farm animal or a dog or a cat. I have cats. And when they eat raw fruits and vegetables, like out in the wild, they don't die of a chronic disease. You know, wild's a tough place, so it's hard to survive out there, so you wonder why they die, but it's not due to chronic disease. You won't find it anywhere. No one's ever shot a deer. No one's ever, trapped a bear, okay, or sheep. Well, I guess they don't trap sheep. Well, let's say they trap a rabbit and found it full of disease. It just doesn't happen. So why not? Well, because chronic disease comes from our diet. All disease comes from our diet. And I can even take that further to infectious disease. Why? Because it's your immune system that's weak. Now, we had this crazy virus that went around that was so deadly, it killed 0.04% of the population. Well, it was almost all elderly people with a very weak immune system. As you get older and older and older and you don't replace the nucleic acids in your body, nucleic acids are RNA and DNA. And that's what you find in our 45-45-10. Spirulina, chlorella, CGF, chlorella growth factor. Now, the chlorella growth factor is concentrated chlorella. Highly concentrated. It takes 100 pounds to make 1 pound of CGF, chlorella growth factor. Okay, powder. But those are that's very, very high in nucleic acids. It's high. It's really high. It really has an amazing collection of nutrients in it. But in particular, it is extremely high in nucleic acids, RNA and DNA. Well, those are the blueprints of your cells. So when your cells go to through osmosis and they split and they replicate. If you don't have the blueprints, the RNA and DNA, then you get a diminished copy. And then through the years, you keep eating the raw foods, you keep eating toast, you keep eating eggs and toast, you keep eating not bananas, but banana nut bread. And you keep eating pizza, and you keep eating lasagna, and you keep eating hamburgers. These are all cooked foods. You're getting a diminished copy. You're not giving your body, the nutrients that it requires. We are what we eat. Well, actually, no, we're not what we eat. We are what we can assimilate. So you need to take digestive enzymes. I have a product called Digestzyme. It's got a broad array full spectrum digestive enzymes. I take that with every single meal I eat, with digestive enzymes. Very, very important. So, the RNA and DNA. This is what keeps you from, this is why you age, because you're not getting these blueprints. This is one facet of aging. Another thing I take is mucuna pruriens. That stimulates this, got L-DOPA, that's a precursor to dopamine, and then that eventually produces HGH, human growth hormone. That's a key to longevity. When I work out every day, it's about an hour after I work out, I get HGH, okay, human growth hormone. You can't eat that. You can't go get a bottle of it. You got to produce it in the body. It's like nitric oxide. Your body can produce nitric oxide, but you got to give it something to do that with, like beets is a good way, L-arginine is a good way, D-aspartic acid is a good way. You want that circulation. But anyway, before we go on with these foods, a ton of vitamins. Vitamin A, vitamin B, vitamin C, D, E, K, vitamin K, folic acid, and of course this is mineral dense, about 6.5% minerals. Okay, and they're going to be bioavailable. 60% protein. All right. Essential fatty acids. Right. ALA, alpha-linolenic acid. ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, and then spirulina has got GLA, gamma-linolenic acid. Great for your joints. Great for your joints. So you're getting all your fat. See, fats don't come from animals. Animals cannot produce fat. Mammals, fish, animals, no fat. They can't produce fat. We can accumulate fat, but we don't produce it. That comes exclusively from the plant world. Okay? You hear this essential fatty acids. Well, essential means you cannot produce them yourselves. You need to take those in from the outside. Anything that's essential to your body, like there's eight amino acids that are essential, you got to take those in. Your body can produce all these other amino acids, all right? All the other 20 that we need, but you 8 of them, they're essential. You got to take them in from the plant world. Essential fatty acids. All fat has to come from the plant world. Okay. You can say, well, I can get this healthy fat from animals. That animal is accumulating that fat, and then you're taking the fat and eating it. So it's a middleman. It's like fish oil. Okay, cod liver oil, and this oil, and this animal oil, and this fish oil, and all this kind of stuff. The fish are just eating things, maybe algae that's got fat, accumulating it in its flesh, and then you take the fish and you strip away the fish and you concentrate the oil. That's fish oil. Okay? So you're just going to the middleman. You may as well just go to the plant world. Do your nuts and seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds, and, sesame seeds. Sesame seeds really healthy. And I'll tell you, sesame seeds full of calcium. So, but again, you are not what you eat, it's what you can assimilate. That's what it really comes down to. And you need those digestive enzymes to do that. Your body produces all those in the pancreas. But as you get older and you don't live on the right diet, pretty soon those just get depleted. And then you can't do it anymore. So, 60% protein. Now I take a small handful, literally 8 or 10 look at the size of my hand. 10 to 12 tablets with every meal. That's all the protein you need. This idea you need 51 grams of protein every single day. What? That's 51 grams of meat. Meat has around 15% protein in it. 15 to 18 is the average. The really high end, like filet mignon, is maybe 20, 21, 22 at the most. Okay. Now you go and shoot a deer. You bring it back, you see how dark and crimson that meat is? That's a very high protein meat, but people say, well, it's gamey, or it doesn't. I've never had it, so I couldn't tell you. But all I know is that venison, which is deer meat, they're always trying to make sure, cover up the taste, So I got a stew and I got a certain recipe that covers up the taste. I mean, once again, you want to eat that stuff. I'm so upset about it. I have never lost 1 millisecond of sleep over what you eat. It's over what I put in my body. But I'm just telling you what to do if you want to be healthy. It starts with water. I already told you. And then here are the two greatest superfoods on the planet. So I take some of this with every single meal. I have a lot of, I kind of fast for around 15 hours a day. So I don't eat till noon. And then I eat some fruit, and I take this with it. Spirulina and chlorella, sometimes CGS. Usually it's spirulina and chlorella, but sometimes just chlorella, sometimes just spirulina. Spirulina, really high energy food. Chlorella is great for detoxifications with this fiber in it. They both detoxify you in different ways. And everything is about, health is about three things. HAD, hydrate, alkalize, detoxify. The body. Hydrate, keep yourself hydrated. Alkaline ionized water or good spring water. Stay away from purified water. Reverse osmosis distilled water. It's really bad for you. So hydrate. Alkalize, bring your body pH up to neutral, not your blood. You start talking to these medical doctors, and they say, you know the pH of your blood? It was 7.25 to 7.45. Well, we're not talking about blood pH. Blood pH always stays in a narrow range, because if it goes out of that range, 7.2 to 7.4, let me tell you something, you're going to have a bad day. That's why everything that gets into your blood that doesn't belong there, it immediately shoves out of the blood and gets rid of it. Okay? And almost all of us, suffer from what's called acidosis, being too low pH. Alkalosis, almost unheard of. When you measure your pH, do it through your urine and not your saliva. Don't make that mistake. Hear me now. Do not make that mistake. Don't get those little test strips and say, there's my body pH. It's from the waist down. So that's urine. And you got to do it every day. And first thing in the morning. If you do it like in the middle of the day, you'll see it's all off. Every time you eat something, it goes up, it goes down. You're all over the place. Same with your blood sugar. Take it first thing in the morning. Take it when that's why they say get up in the morning and then come down here. Don't eat anything. Give us your blood. Because they want nice, clear blood so they can see what's in there. Okay. The medical establishment, great. They're good at two things: testing you for things, and then emergency situations. I like the medical establishment for injuries, accidents, okay, sports nutrition, okay, sports medicine, physical therapy. I know a physical therapist, boy, I'll tell you, he's the best. Scott Benjamin. Whew, this guy, he's up here in Lansing. There's a physical therapist. He understands the physiology of the human body. Your typical medical doctor, they think they understand. They took classes on physiology, so now they understand nutrition. No, they don't. They have no training in nutrition. If you ever see one of these medical doctors that are, maybe in this series, there's a couple of doctors, they didn't learn that in medical school. I mean, I got nothing against them, but their pills and their therapies, not the physical therapies, but their, radiation and chemotherapy, just worthless. All their medications, worthless, just worthless. People call me up all the time. Will this interfere with my drug here, this one? I said, I don't know anything about your drug, but your drug is interfering with the natural, with this, with the apples. People call me, I can't eat vitamin K, right? Okay, so is this going to interfere with my blood thinner? Well, your blood thinner is there a blood thinner tree? That's the number one drug out there, is blood thinners. Hypertension, high blood pressure. That's a big one. And then these blood thinners, they're everywhere. And they, by the way, all these herbs can interfere with those. No, they all interfere with herbs, which God created. They interfere with fruits. They interfere with everything that's natural. So don't get mixed up here. What's interfering with what? And what do I know about medication? Nothing. What do I know about medicine? Nothing. What do I know about the medical world? Nothing. Other than what I've heard. But medical doctors of any kind, men, women, I don't care who they are, they know nothing about nutrition other than what they learned from guys like me, or they got out and they studied on the internet or however they got books and studied it. And that's great. I have nothing against that. But don't tell me they learned that in medical school, because they get 0 hours of nutrition. And when it's maybe 2 hours. It's just an overview. Like the body needs this, it needs that. It's just it's a joke. They don't know anything about health. They know everything about medicine. And medicine does not lead to health. As a matter of fact, medicine is one direction and health is in the other. Okay? Again, if I was in an accident, I would want EMS. Okay? I'd want the medical guys, the ambulance to come down and take care of me. I was in a terrible accident, or I hurt myself at home, or whatever. They're great. But when it comes to health, I've got cancer and you want to go to them. You got cancer, you want to go look in the mirror, because the cure for all disease is found in the mirror. That's why it's the cure in the mirror. There's the sick guy, and there in the mirror is the healthy guy. And you cure in the mirror. Go look in the mirror. You got cancer, go look in the mirror. And then start doing the right things that I suggest here. Water, spirulina and chlorella, raw fruits and vegetables. Now, I take a ton of supplements. I'm like the supplement king. And it's because you cannot find all these nutrients that you need, like fulvic acid. You can't find enough of that in your regular diet. I got some Shilajit here. Where's my Shilajit? I'm out of Shilajit. I take Shilajit every day. There's my Shilajit. I got this is a 3% fulvic acid. I got one. It's coming in. It's 50% fulvic acid. But this is amazing. So they call this the rock of life, and this is a clay, actually. Okay, it comes from the Himalayas. I sell another one. It's called American Shilajit. That comes out of New Mexico. I prefer this one, but that one's just mineral dense. I mean, it really has this broad array of trace minerals. I mean, it must have 50, 60 minerals in it. It's fantastic stuff. Fulvic acid is kind of low, something like that's really high. But again, we can take it and we extract the fulvic acid and concentrate it, and so that it gets more and more fulvic acid in there. But you can just go out and buy fulvic acid too, which I sell. So, but it just shows you what you got to do. So, if you want to be healthy, I supplement all sorts of stuff. Iodine. One thing this doesn't have is iodine. So, what do I use for that? Brown seaweed extract. Go to my website, watershed.net, drbobmccauley.com, and look up brown seaweed extract. That is concentrated kelp. It is the third most powerful food in the world. This is number 1 and 2. It's because everything that is found in that kelp is not in algae. This is a microalgae. It's not in there, and vice versa. So they complement each other perfectly. You got fucoidan, an incredibly powerful anti-cancer nutrient, very largest molecule in nature. Focusanthin is a powerful antioxidant. It's mineral dense. It's got soluble fiber, clear you right out. Brown seaweed extract. It's kind of like a sandy material, but it's just concentrated kelp, laminara, and then iodine, the highest iodine of anything. But you got to feed that thyroid. I'm going to tell you, don't ever let these doctors, they like to just zap that right out with radiation. Take them 15 seconds, your thyroid's gone forever. Talk about malpractice. So, medical malpractice, just human practice, malpractice. So I got a couple minutes left here. So these are the 2 most powerful foods in the world. This is what I use for my protein. If you want to go on a vegetarian or vegan diet, or even if you don't, you should add those to your diet. And we're selling those over in Horrocks Market now up here in Lansing. We're trying to get into the other Horrocks as well. So never had any product in Horrocks. Suddenly got in there. My son helped me get in. All right, let's talk about blood clots. A lot of people talk about spike proteins and blood clots. So I would suggest if you have any issues like that, first of all, when I wake up in the morning on an empty stomach, I take serapeptase. That's great for menstrual cramps, which I don't get. That's great for reducing inflammation, for shrinking a swollen prostate. I don't really have one, but I sure, take this every single day, so I never get anything like that. Again, so I supplement. This is serapeptase. It's an enzyme. It's amazing stuff. But the one you want for your blood clots is, come on guys, nattokinase. Nattokinase. That's an enzyme. Okay, and it's a blood thinner. It's lung support, and it removes fibrin from the body. What is fibrin? Fibrin is that stuff. So when you get cut, and you bleed, and then you get a scab, the scab is fibrin. So it's these little fibers that come together and close that up so you don't bleed to death. Okay. But what's happening here in a blood clot, that all gets inside the body, gets in your arteries. Well, that causes heart attack and stroke, blood clots. Okay, somebody may have taken this injection that they wanted everybody to take so you didn't get sick, and it's causing a lot of blood clots and a lot of spike proteins, which cause blood clots. So I recommend 3 things, and I take them all the time. But I recommend 3 things for these spike proteins and blood clots, and it's very important. So first of all, as I said, nattokinase. That's an amazing nutrient. That's an amazing enzyme. Take that in an empty stomach. Take all these in an empty stomach. Okay, bromelain. Bromelain will also reduce blood clots. Takes away the fibrin. That comes from pineapple. It has a pineapple smell to it. You can eat a ton of this stuff. It's just concentrated. It comes out of the core of the pineapple, but it doesn't taste bad. These are capsules, but you can take, the powder. Just put it in your water, your drink, or whatever you're drinking. I take it every morning. I never miss it. Reduces blood fibrin, helps remove that. Does all sorts of things. You got helps digestion tremendously. Great for removing fibrin. Great for any kind of a blood clot or anything like that. And last but not least, NAC. That's acetylcysteine, N-acetylcysteine. So cysteine is an amino acid, and acetyl means it's in the acetyl group. That's all. That is just. I like to break down words, and that way it's easier to understand. So NAC, acetylcysteine, and then N-acetylcysteine. So that's all it is. But also removes blood clots. Great for blood clotting. Great for removing spike proteins. So bromelain, nattokinase, bromelain. Again, that's an enzyme from the pineapple. Great for your digestion. You can really get the powder and be taking like a spoonful of that, like a teaspoon. It's an enzyme. Your body's going to love that. Believe me. You have digestive problems, take it. You get somebody with really bad breath. I recommend probiotics for that, because that's not just onion breath or garlic breath. I mean, like they got it just sells beyond stale. It's awful. Your food is rotting in your body. You're not digesting it. You need a probiotic. And so you start, and that's not just one, okay? You start taking it with every single meal. I take probiotics with every meal. You are not what you eat. You are what you eat. You are what you can assimilate. And if you can't assimilate those foods because you don't have digestive enzymes, that's just going to pass through you. And then NAC, okay, those 3, NAC, the amino acid. So it's kind of gotten popular, and I love it, because again, you'll find that in all sorts of different foods. But you got to go out and get those foods. You got to eat those foods. Here we have it right here, concentrated, ready to go. Just take it. Okay, that's the advantage of supplements. I am the supplement king. I love supplementing because I understand supplements. Like I take ashwagandha. I mean, you go out and get ashwagandha. It's a root, and eat those. You need the willithinoids in there. You want to find those and extract them and concentrate it, because you can eat all this ashwagandha powder you want, but when you extract it and concentrate it, and extractors know what they're doing, and you're looking for the willithinoids, these are what the things that really give you this incredible. It's a stress reliever, reduces stress on the cell. So I've been taking this for years. Give you a very good all-day energy, really good energy. But I'm constantly taking all sorts of. Here's my pressure relief, reduces blood pressure. It's got nattokinase in it. But it's just 4 herbs, just 4 natural herbs. It's olive leaf and hawthorn and schizandra. So put the nattokinase in there. So anyway, just wanted to introduce you to the spirulina and the McCauley, give you an overview of what I do, and I wanted to talk about blood clots this time, just to make sure, because a lot of people having problems with blood clot spike proteins. And that's what I've been recommended. And by the way, take this on an empty stomach first thing in the morning, last thing at night. It's much more effective. And it'll help reduce your blood pressure. It'll help you reduce this fibrin in the body. You'll get less blood clots and the spiked proteins. Well, Dr. Bob McCauley, watershed.net, drbobmccauley.com, bobmccauley.books.com. And you can find my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is Watershed 11. And anyway, I really appreciate you joining me here today. and I hope you found this useful. Watershed 11 or Dr. Bob McCauley, YouTube/Dr. Bob McCauley. You check those out, and I got hundreds of videos on there. And everything I've talked about here, I talk about them over and over and over again. I do have a Twitter account. I'm not on there as much. Facebook, I'm not on there too much. But as I said, well, anyway, I do a lot of YouTube. And I'm up in Lansing, Michigan, watershed.net. It's really been great sharing with you today, sharing this information, because great health is precious. It's the most important thing in your life other than your relationship with God is your health. Number two, because without your health, you can't do anything. You say, well, it's your family. What good are your family if you're sick? You got to take care of them. You got to keep yourself healthy. You know, when the plane's going down, they always say, put your mask on first. Don't put it on your kid, because then you're fumbling around with it and you both pass out. Take care of yourself, then you can take care of your child, your wife, your husband, whoever it is. All disease comes from our diet, and the body is capable of healing itself of any disease. Dr. Bob McCauley, I'll see you guys next time.